Hello everyone, Wasteland Workshop. I hope you're as happy as I am. I've been playing it for hours, which is why this video is a little later than I intended it to be, because I want to have some cool stuff ready for you. So basically, I'm just going to go through, this is kind of a full overview of what we get in the DLC, and also I've made a couple of things to show you, particularly a building, because concrete has just changed everything. Now I quickly, swiftly go through, because I'd rather show you what I've made, and also I know a lot of you have already gone through the DLC, and actually have had a look at everything. So basically, the biggest thing is we've been given the concrete tab. Now, the concrete tab, if you look at the buildings in Sanctuary here, the concrete tab is kind of, and I'm going to show you what I mean, it's the missing link between actually merging wood and steel together. You see, look at this Sanctuary house here. Let's close the door. I don't like open doors. It looks much better than if I just built a building kind of that shape out of wood. And the reason being is because it looks like I've taken a pre-existing structure and reinforced it, which is exactly what I've done. And it just is a lot more satisfying. For example, if I'm going to scrap this because I don't like building all out of the same material just because, fuck off, Jun. Because I don't like the idea that it just doesn't look as satisfying, whereas concrete, and I'm going to show you my structure down there, it's just the missing link, because you can build what would be a solid structure underneath, then you can reinforce it with wood and then merge steel in there. It's very, very cool. So let's just pop through, and while I do that, I'm going to walk away from all the morons talking, especially Jun. God, I wish he just said another line. Seriously, you miserable git. Right, so quickly just speed through. We're getting various... It's pretty much the same stuff we've gotten from the wood tab, other than the angled bits, except concrete and steel versions of it. It's suitably grimy as well, which I'm quite pleased by. I was worried it would be a little bit too clean, like if you go to the wood tab here, my big fear was it was going to be... Okay, that's not clean, but it's way too sterile looking. So it's nice and rusty, which has pleased me no end. So we're getting the wall pieces. The things to note is obviously the curved bits as well are quite cool, and these angled bits will go really well with the angled wall pieces, angled wall and angled doorway, as well as the curved wall. Now, there'll be interesting things with this. I'm thinking of making water towers, turret towers, just basically lots of funky looking concrete stuff. But as I and you experiment a lot, we'll find some cool shit. So the roofs, I especially like this one for the idea of making kind of walkways that you can see in between. And also, on the concrete tab, we've got a stone pillar, which you can sink into the ground as well. So this is our new support. Probably my favourite part. Obviously, overall, concrete is awesome, but my favourite part is actually these stairs. As you can see right here, I've added concrete steps because I think they look a little bit more secure. I've got the railings so I can't fall off, which is always a problem for me. And eventually what I'll probably do with these houses, I'm going to keep the wood part, but I might actually make the entire steps out of concrete because we've got these pillars now, so I can actually make kind of reinforced concrete stairs. It just looks a lot cooler. And the railings are awesome as well. One thing I like about the railings is because they're kind of rusty metal, it doesn't really matter if you have loads of these next to each other. They don't look bad at all. I might be able to pop them down over here to show you, though you will see in my other, structure. So I can just kind of pop them down, and they look grand. They do snap on certain structures, weirdly the roofs and parts of the walls, but they look fine. They look really good. We get curved ones, different shapes. These ones are good, and these snap on quite well. So there's no worry about using, the same type of these railings. In actual fact, it would look weird if you didn't. So that's the concrete tab. I said I don't want to... I'm going to quickly go through everything, but I'd rather show you how it works rather than necessarily go, no, this is this, but I am actually going to do that. So, quick note as well, for those of you who weren't aware, you see that little cross in the corner? That means there's a new item added to the tab, though don't get a little confused because it still includes the automatron stuff as well. So let's go. The doorways are grand. Power doors. I'll show you properly when we get to Starlight Drive-In, because that's where I built my little temporary arena. But basically, you can plop one of these down, put a switch there, connect power to the switch, and when it's powered, the door's open, so you can use a switch to open and close the door, which is really good if you want to stop settlers getting into a room. Obviously, it's mainly used for locking entrances to the arenas. I'm going to start rug glitching them into maybe my character houses. Because obviously I would like it so none of the settlers enter my character's house. Because obviously they can't flip switches. However, with the Sole Survivor house, because it already has a door that you can't scrap, I'm going to have to build a little entranceway, I think, to stop them, you know, like maybe even a decontamination entranceway, in fact, to stop my settlers from actually going in. So that's pretty cool. We get different styles. A note on these ones, which are obviously the cooler looking ones, is they don't snap very reliably. The house I built doesn't have one, though because I just couldn't get it to snap properly. However, the one in Starlight, the little temporary arena I've made, does, and it snapped perfectly. So maybe it needs to be patched, or maybe it's just there's a technique to it. I haven't really kind of learned how to do it reliably. It just seems really weird, but we'll get there. So that's all the doorways. There's some stuff in the MISC as well. This is pretty cool. Buses. I'm going to build a trailer park. These will be awesome. You can turn these into houses. I don't think we can put doors on these. Actually, I've never checked if they have a shutter on them. I don't believe they do. However, it's going to be cool for, like, kind of more... In my slum is going to have, a trailer at some point. The idea of just kind of, putting some kind of scummy beds in there, using... It's just going to be cool. Or even making it really fancy. Like, that's something I had an idea for. Make a trailer and have, like, my, I don't know, mystic fortune teller, and she's going to have, like, red lights inside, and it's all going to be very, very cool. So that's pretty grand. And also maybe using those... I'm assuming because they're in the MISC tab, I probably can rug glitch them. Which still works, by the way. All the glitches still work. And maybe actually use them to reinforce the inside of my walls. So make it look like parts of the walls are actually reinforced by buses and stuff, which is very, very cool. So that is everything in that tab. Furniture. There's nothing new in the furniture tab at all. A little bit disappointed, actually. I still want my chem boxes, ammo boxes, and med boxes, as well as posters as well. Those are the things that once were added, I'd be happy as hell. That's everything I want currently. But unfortunately, no, not yet. Decorations we've got in here. Campfires, candles, awesome, amazing. On sticking with the light theme, fire barrels, oil lamps. Note on these, pre-existing ones in your settlements, you can't actually scrap yet. So the ones in the workshop house you can't get rid of, annoyingly. But they do... I'm going to, by the way, show you my new house in day and at night. So you'll see the lighting and how it travels a bit better. So those are amazing. Murkwater, it's going to have a lot of shit like this. It's going to look grand. Oil lamp posts, very, very cool. Same kind of warm lighting. It's very, very grand. Haven't forgotten the cat thing, but I wanted to show you the wall sconces first. Wall sconces, so kind of a bit more... There's a look for if you want a kind of like a nice little fancy hut. I'm actually going to be doing a playthrough, by the way, when Survival comes to console. And I'm going to do a whole new series. So I'm going to actually start a new game, a separate game, playing Survival, and I'm going to do Survival-themed builds. And so we'll be using these a lot in the more Survival-themed, I think, for basically smaller structures that still look good, but don't use the entire build area, so they're kind of more RP. Oh, and obviously I said, and then I forgot to say it again, we do have a cat bowl, which is very, very cool. This is basically the cat's version of the doghouse. I haven't managed to have a cat captured yet. I did have one, and then for whatever reason, it glitched and wouldn't leave its cage. I think, to be honest, it's because I put it on an incline, and the cat couldn't get out. So... and then once I opened the door, I couldn't select the cage and move it. So I've already placed it down, I'll show you in a second, on a flat surface. But it may be wise for you guys to just quick save before you open any of your cage doors, just to check. I mean, you could always just kill the cat, and then it'd probably be able to select it, but, Right, so that's that tab. This DLC is insane. You'll see the structure in a second. It's one of my favourite things I've ever made, in terms of like a individual structure, but just the level of detail we can do now is just amazing. Right, on the power front, fusion core generators, which is good because we're using a lot more power now. Glorious. I also like the fact it actually has the fusion core. I was worried for some reason they'd miss out the little detail. It would be one without a core in it, because looking at the pictures, it didn't look like the core was in there. These are awesome. To be honest, they're not too resource intensive, realistically. I mean, The only thing maybe is nuke material, aluminium and copper. But, you know, yeah, once you're at the end stage of the game, these are easy to make. And they're nice and quiet too, which is awesome. Absolutely grand. No new connectors and switches. I saw what looked like... It kind of looked like that. It was a wall connector. I thought we were getting a new switch. If I've missed it, let me know. But, unfortunately, no new connectors. Also, I'm thinking with the powered doors, you could have a pressure plate in front, so you could basically have automatic doors. So that would be cool. On the lights, we're getting so much. I'm just going to breeze through these because you'll see these in the settlements here. Cage wall lights, a bit more industrial. 3 different kinds of powered lampposts. Again, you will see them properly in a second, but they are fantastic and do a nice amount of light. I want to show you this, though, if you haven't seen it already. Oh, I just love all the light. It's so cool. What more do I need to say? Glorious. Table lamps. Those are nice for having a bit more homely ambience to your rooms. Those are a bit clean cut, I must admit, but they do look nice. These are really probably my favourite of the in-house lights, these two here, because they're really good at lighting up the concrete especially, but they're not too overpowering. These ones are a bit bright, but they're alright. Fancy wall lights. Different types of fancy wall lights. Yes! Sweet God, yes! Thank you, Bethesda! Oh, it's not lighting up there. One second. There we go. Looking grand, looking grand. I'm so happy we've got those. You have no idea. Actually, you probably do, because I wouldn't shut the fuck up about them, but I'm very, very happy we've got those. So grand. So, on them... We've got these, which are very nice. Again, a lot of this lighting I've already used in my new build, so you will get to see it, and I will talk about what I've used, and also show you at night time, because it looks better. Nice warm light with those. This is a bit more of a sterile light, which is pretty cool, if you want more of a kind of, well, sterile environment, like a hospital or something like that. These are great. I actually did, I'll explain this in a second. I built a giant cage for a death claw. I'm going to go into a bit more detail as to why and why it didn't work, which upsets me, but they're very good at highlighting certain objects. I have used them for my Soul Survivor house to kind of, because you get ground ones, so I have them pointing at my magazine stands, and also paintings as well in the new build house that I've made. They're very good at just drawing your eye to a certain area, which is quite nice, and obviously we get different kinds. Obviously that one provides more light than those two, and they're more kind of spotlights, so very good for paintings. And I believe that's all on the lights. Misc. Mini light boxes. These are cool. These are very, very cool. They don't use up any points of power, so you can literally have a windmill and just write whatever the hell you like. Quick note on these, because I used to have a big sign that said Sanctuary in my old Sanctuary right in the front. Lighting is the thing that really does affect the FPS quite a bit. Like, to be honest, they've obviously made lots of updates and changes in the game, so it does run a lot better on console. However, there is a little bit of a frame rate drop, not to the point where it bothers me, but it would probably bother you if you're really obsessed about that. So just be careful. Like, I had 89 of these ones when I had my big sign, and it was a big sign, and it was just unplayable. Cycling lights. These are pretty straightforward and cool. These I'm going to use a lot, by the way. You have to wire these up. And you basically just... and they just change colours. And you can attach these to the terminal and make them work exactly like the other lights. You can choose non-off switch from the conduit switches menu. So they cycle, and then you can make them just flash in different colours. So that's pretty cool. What else? The Nixie tube. I haven't actually put these in my new house yet, but they look cool. These are cool. You can basically just... They only use... They're nice colours, but I haven't actually put them. I completely forgot to put them in my new place. But basically, these are awesome. You can... I don't know if you can program these, and possibly can, but you can basically just click them. It only goes through numbers, but, you know, it looks very, very cool. I'm thinking of having a days since last accident thing, and then having that as a counter, which is pretty cool. A nice colour as well, which is grand. Is that everything in there? Oh, yeah, and the decontamination arc. Don't know how it works. Oh, do I press a button? Never actually used this, but... Oh, there we go. There we go. Gets rid of my rads. I turned off the HUD because I thought it looked better. So that's pretty cool. And that gets rid of all of your rads as well. So, yay. They'll be good for entrance. I'm going to have those, probably reserve those solely for my Soul Survivor house. Can I turn it off, or does it... Oh, yeah, you turn it off and on. Grand. Cool. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, this DLC, they've just added so much to us. It's unbelievable. This is quite an elaborate stuff, but basically, this is where we get to spell whatever the hell we like. I'll just go through one of the tabs, but basically you get every letter of the alphabet, plus punctuation, plus numbers. I've written stuff out so don't you worry about that. And they're all different colours as well. We can't wire them up, so I don't think we can make them flash. I might be wrong. Someone tell me if I'm wrong. But as far as I can tell, you cannot. So we've got neon signs as well. Oh, have I used all my build limit? I have. 1 second, there we go. These are pretty cool. I mean, we've seen these. It's not exactly very exciting. It just has that slight little, good for shops. Let's place it down somewhere where it will actually work. They're really cool. It seems to flash as well. I don't know if it's flashing because it's running out of power or flashing because... Oh, no, it does. Yeah, it flashes. Good news, Sheffield. Good news. Right. So that's all the neon lighting. There's some... there isn't anything new in the turret section, by the way. It's just these wall-mounted spotlights that you get from Automatron. Traps. Now, traps are a big disappointment for me because I haven't really tried it yet, but I'm pretty much... Because the cages work the same way. You have to repair them after they've been used. To me, that's just utterly pointless. Because I'm not going to go around my settlement. You just, if a raider happens to wander through, you have to go through and repair everything. And it's just tedious. If they made it so we could actually... press a button and just repair everything, like terminal them up or something. Maybe that is in there and I just haven't noticed it. But they might be cool for... 1 second, let me just get rid of anything here. They might be cool for, maybe details. If you want to have something that just, for the look of having these traps in. Also, it's gone foggy, but I'm not re-recording all this bullshit. So, you've got the saw blade trap, you've got the spike trap going out the ground, spring traps, different kinds of spring traps. They look pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. A trapdoor, now that one is interesting. That's the one that might be quite fun. I don't know. I don't know if we have to... Do I need to connect these? So this one doesn't need to be repaired, so that's cool. Just test these out 1 second. Let's find out now, shall we? Because I haven't tested them out. Ooh. Okay, maybe those ones you have to repair. What about these ones? Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. Let's give it a bit. Okay. So it looks like with these new traps, we don't have to repair them. In that case... These might be quite useful. You can put them in your arenas. You can actually have traps and switches and stuff. I'm assuming they can probably be attacked, but this doesn't seem to be wearing out. Let's just quickly test 1 second. Sorry if you guys get burned. Talk to my settlers. So let's see about that. Yeah. Ah, okay. Right. So when you put your cursor over the trap, if it says there's repair instead of select... That means that you will have to repair it. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so these are now not useless. Fantastic. Grand. Happy with that. Okay, so you will see those traps in Davy's settlements. Right. Onto the resources tab. We have been given new water pumps. These are fantastic. I've got one of these in here. I'll use these if there is a natural body of water that I can build and play stuff in without it looking silly. But to be honest, I'm probably going to default to these. They have the same audio as the small... If I can pop it. It does need to be placed on Earth, I think. Oh, no. Just somewhere. But they have the same sound as the small generator. Which you can turn them off and on. And it'll cycle between a couple of different pitches, which is good. So that means you don't have to worry about them being absolutely rackety, which is grand. Onto the garden plots. Now, the garden plots are fantastic. They're really good for indoor and any area that doesn't have any dirt. A quick note just on certain food types have a closer build area, which means to say that you can't build them very... Corn's the worst. Like, you can only put 4 on here. I'm not going to do it because they can't be asked. But basically, just for some reason, it just sometimes can't be placed very close. Carrots are fine. Gourds, you can only place 2. Melon, I can only get 1 on here. Because just once you place it down, you can't put them too close together. It looks good, but if you're putting all that space for 1 melon, it doesn't really work. Mutefruit is absolutely fantastic. Razor grain, 1. Same with the big razor grain. And potatoes. So just I mostly use it for potatoes, mutefruits, and carrots, and maybe 1 melon, because I just wanted 1 melon down there. So, anything else in the misc that I've missed? No. No new shops, as far as I can tell. No new crafting as well, which is... I was hoping for the other type of the power armor station as well. The slightly more advanced looking one. Unfortunately, that is a no-go. Incidentally, how many caps do I have? 21,000 caps. See where it says 21k caps? I cleared all this out this morning. That's how Davey pays for all his resources, by the way. So cages. We basically get different types. I'll skip through them. Cat cages, dogs, mole rats, mutant hounds on the small tab. I have a mole rat around here somewhere. He's just chilling. And I will have a cat and a dog at some point, although I do already have a dog. Feral ghouls. My sanctuary is going to be covered in feral ghouls. Gorillas, which are the synth ones. Slight spoiler, if you haven't got to the Institute yet, there are synth gorillas. It says it on the top there. Chance to capture a synthetic gorilla. Gunners. Insects, which I'm assuming... I just probably might randomize actually what insect you get. I haven't tried that yet. Raiders. And super mutants. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned this, but I'm going to mention it now. You can only... it hasn't been tested. Basically, I had a ghoul and a deathclaw with the emitter on that's in this tab here, and they ripped each other to pieces once they met. My ghoul, called Colin, survived, mainly because I killed my deathclaw, but it seems to be that... I think it might be certain types of creatures will fight each other and certain types won't. Now, I did try, because I've got 2 ghoul cages over there, I did try having 2 ghouls next to each other, and they didn't fight, which is grand, and I've heard that cats are fine, they don't get attacked. I think mainly because they're not really aggressive enemies. Not sure about dogs. I haven't actually got round to making one of those. Gone through theirs. So just as a note, basically, you might not be able to have a veritable zoo. Big cages. Brahmin. I'm assuming... probably all the docile creatures will be fine. Deathclaw. Mirelurks. Rad Scorpion Cage. Rad Stag. And Yaoguai. With the cages, when you open the cage, you get a random creature from that pool. I seem to always get charred ghouls. Hi, Colin. You right there, buddy? Did you use that ointment I gave you? You just shamble around, buddy. But I did once have a glowing ghoul, and then I reloaded for some stupid reason. Oh well, I'm going to keep opening and closing the cages until I get the mixture of all the ghouls. I don't know how much variation we get. I'd got an alpha deathclaw when I made that. And then we have these, which I'm going to go into better detail on a separate video of how to set up arena matches and get them to work properly, because I'm still learning myself. But basically, you can assign someone to these, and when you assign someone to an opposite team, settlers will be immediately aggressive to each other. So, just careful with assigning settlers, because they will kill each other. And then, obviously, we get the Beta Wave Emitter, which basically keeps everyone calm. I built a couple of these, because once they seem to cover the entire build area, which is grand. Earlier, I thought maybe they didn't. But beware that once the power gets shut off, that's it. So I would maybe have them separate, like a couple of them on different powers. And I haven't used this yet, but basically this seems to be, it'll cool your settlers to the area, and they'll sit down and chill. Which is actually kind of useful if you maybe don't necessarily want them to have a fight, but maybe you just want, a hangout area. You want to build a little, like in my little weird little chem house, hippie commune house that I've made, I can actually have settlers to chill. But that, I believe, is everything. Let me know if I've mixed anything out. I think I haven't. Right, now I'm going to rest and get out of this shitey little fog, and I'm going to show you what I've made. BRB. Welcome back. Right, one thing before I show you the house behind me. And this is a smaller scale because I had Colin in here. This was a cage I made to actually... Because the idea being, you see the light, I actually wanted caged animals rather than wandering around, because I just thought it would look cool, you know, have them as trophies. I don't know if it's for every settlement, but you know with Sanctuary you have it so they actually, everything defaults to the back of the workshop house, and also just generally they don't tend to stay. Unfortunately, I managed to get him in here by basically just having a cage there, and he just wandered in, and then I just deleted it and then just blocked it up. Unfortunately, he didn't stay in there, he warped out. That giant cage back there was actually for a Deathclaw that I wanted on display, and he just warped straight out, which is a shame. I hope they make it so we can keep them in, because I would like an actual literal zoo, and it would stop them murdering each other. And also it would be cool, because that way I could have different animals caged up, and that would attract those type of creatures to attack my settlement, which is quite cool. I quite enjoyed my horde of mole rats that just came tumbling through the front of Sanctuary gates. It was cool. And this is my cat cage that I put on a flat surface, so hopefully that stops him bugging out. So right, here's what I've made. Now I'm going to show this at night, but I'll just show you on the outside at daytime. This is... I'm going to do a tutorial on how actually to make structures like this, so don't worry about that. But as you can see, I've mixed all of the different kind of surfaces and textures together to make something that looks cool. You know, it looks like this concrete structure was there before, and we've just reinforced it. This is where it starts to look like something you would see in Diamond City. They're kind of wastelandy, but they've got a little bit of character with the neon lighting as well. It gives us a lot more color and just more personality. I absolutely loved it. It took bloody ages, by the way, connecting them over. This is actually good. The addition of concrete has allowed me to kind of a reason for me to connect wood and steel together in a bit more of a better way. So here is the outside. During the day, I've put a few of the lanterns around just to, the street lights rather, just to kind of showcase. These are my ghouls that I'm not going to show you them coming out now, but basically I'm going to open these up and hopefully... Actually, let me just do it now, I'll show you. Because basically you get random... Let's see what kind of ghoul I got this time. Meet a glowing one! So I got another fucking charred ghoul. It's like opening a Magic the Gathering card set, which I've never played, but I've seen people open them before and you get different kinds. That was my nerdy joke. Reference. Is that one on? Oh, wait. Right. Come on. Ah! Alright, don't worry, I'll just reload later on and get, hopefully, a glowing one. Collins brothers. See, they don't... The same type don't attack each other, but if I had a Deathclaw here, he would... Yeah. But they just kind of mong around. I'm going to have so many ghouls wandering around, because I fucking love ghouls. And as you can see, I've really kind of gone with different styles. So I've got another beta emitter, because I, at first, didn't know whether they had a certain range. Right, I'm going to sleep until nighttime now. And then we'll do a tour of the inside of this structure. So here it is, in all of its nighttime glory. It's called the Chem Shack. It's, as you can see at the top, grand as fuck. I've used a lot of different lighting here. So I've used the street lamps. Shut up, Sturgis, Jesus Christ. So I've used different colours. I love just the green glow. Also, there's green glow over there, but you'll see in a sec. This DLC has the detail we can actually place on these buildings is insane now. And this took me ages, and I'm not even bothered it took me ages. I had so much fun making it. A quick note, like, I'm okay with this, but there is a little bit of a frame rate drop. There seems to be a limit to basically how far it spawns, so I'm pretty sure it won't get any worse than this, as long as I didn't pack, you know, within, say... what, a 15, 20 meter radius of where I am now. You didn't pack everything. God, imagine if fucking ghoul was in there. It would look so cool highlighted. Hopefully they change that. Oh! Should we see if my cat hasn't bugged out? Come on, kitty. Nope. You gonna bug out? You're gonna bug out. Alright, fuck it, don't worry about it. I'll figure out how to get my cat to not bug out. We're gonna get a patch, don't you worry. Okay, let's go inside. Let me show you the inside of my house. Oh, this is my favourite robot. I don't know if I've shown you this, guys. This is Tarek. This is Tarek, rather. He's got the monkey head. He's got a really overweighted upper body. Oh, I love him so much. I love you. Right. Bonus points if you know where the name Tarek came from. Right. Okay, so this is the bottom floor. Now, this is actually a little bit sparsely decorated down here, mainly because it's quite a wide area, and I like cramped. I'm much more preferable to cramped, but it gets a bit cooler upstairs. But this is just, I put these down here just because the grass was growing through, so that's why we have plants on the inside. But it doesn't matter, because this is my hippie house. So, as you can see, I've just kind of demonstrated how the light flows. Now, I said, for the concrete, these lights work really well. I've used the highlighting light bulbs here to actually kind of draw attention to the planters. And also you can see, and I like using the bulbs on the string outside windows and doors. It just looks really nice because you can see it. I've forgotten to use one there though. So it's looking very, very cool. Upstairs is cooler, so you'll see that. This took bloody ages, by the way. Just the lanterns, the way the light spreads is so nice. You can see these are quite bright. And sometimes really bright lights do turn me off, but that's because I'm a little hermit person. So I put a few severed heads on the walls. I actually probably do have some Deathclaw. I'll put one down in a sec. So let's go upstairs, because stuff gets a bit cooler upstairs. So this is where my people sleep. And see, I've kept the light a little bit duller down here. These lights, that's the grow room, by the way. We'll see that in a sec. These lights are a lot warmer, which is quite nice. With the, as you probably see where that one's glowing green, with the bulbs where you can actually change the shade of the lighting, I'll probably use those a lot more inside to kind of subtly light out areas, I think. Because it just means that you can wire them up, have a lot more of a warmer yellow light. Not obviously I've gone for colourful in here for a point, but a lot warmer yellow lights. It'd be quite nice, especially with, the lanterns and the candles. And I've got the Marlock Queen Claw there. See the candles, it just looks so nice. This build, and I'm not going to do a Let's Build for this particular building, because I'm not rebuilding this again. But I will do a Let's Build, probably somewhere else, and in Sanctuary as well, of these style of buildings. Like the pub, for example. We're going to do pub 2.0. So it's cool. For example, you can see with the grow room that I've actually perfectly connected the steel. And same with the steel parts upstairs. It looks very, very cool. And this kind of style, the concrete basically, for those of you who maybe don't want to build up an entire settlement, it's probably a bit more useful when I start doing my survival playthrough. But the concrete with the wood and the steel combo, which I'm going to show you how to do later in the week, and something that looks good, really good if you just wanted, say, I don't know, maybe you want to go to County Crossing, and you just want one all-in-one building. This kind of style of build will help you quite a lot. So let's go out on the balcony first. So you can see, it's really, really nice. Got my little... Where's my cat come? I think he's actually wandered out. Please. I think he is, because I remember putting his bowl upstairs. It's really cool. Right, let's go to the grow room. This is where we basically grow our plants. So you can see, lots of green lighting. The lanterns and the candles look really well with these kind of lighting. Just these bulbs, just because it adds a little bit more warmth to it. Yes, he is definitely upstairs. Sweet. So you can see, I do have a robot somewhere called Scraps, but he has fucked off. He's probably at the bar, actually. He was my little Mr. Handy. He's not a very fancy Mr. Handy, but he just hangs around here. Bathtub full of fruit. This idea was stolen completely from Nostalgic Lily. I will put a link to her, I think it's Fruit Bandit or Vegetable Bandit video. It's very cool, basically. Go check it out. But I just wanted to do that because it looked cool. So that's the grow room. I love the grow room. As you can see with the spot lighting here, I've used it to highlight the paintings, to kind of draw the eye to them. I might do a lighting tutorial now that we've got good lighting, because we have so many options to actually, highlight. Look at the way, for example, like, I put it deliberately so it's dull. It's like entering a club, and then you go in, and then it starts, and it's the lighting's there, but I've highlighted the side as well, so I'll probably do that at some point, but now that we've got the DLC, I've got 1,000,001 videos to make. So this is my favourite room, obviously. This is the chill out area. Now this is for, my hippies to mong and chill and generally just take a load of jet. Okay, this is where my cat's meant to be. I can hear him, but I don't know where he is. He's probably gotten stuck. Maybe he can't get up. If I fast travelled, maybe he'd come back. Also labelled it, so make chems, in case you didn't know what that did. But it's you know, different styles. Like, this building is so all-in-one, I love it. Let's show you the balcony first, actually, as well. It's just another growing area. Little benches for us to chill. Got my potatoes, got my mute fruit. And again, I've used these lights to kind of draw attention to a particular area that I want you to look at. And it looks great when you're here, but also when you're outside looking at the building. So, I mean, I hope you guys are liking this. It was such just such a mix of different textures, and this is the style of my building from now on, more or less. I mean, obviously, I'll change the lighting, but this, I'll probably always have concrete, steel, and wood for any structure of this size in some way, but I'm going to try and maybe do in my concrete tutorial, maybe doing different scale structures. So, okay, nothing massive yet, but, you know, making a small one. It's just a little concrete shack with wood and steel and that kind of thing, but I'm very pleased with this lighting. It feels like a completely different building. Let's go downstairs for a second. You're downstairs, pretty standard, kind of like what you saw in the DLC trailer. Then you go upstairs, things get a bit more warmer. It's quite nice. You know, if I go here, you wouldn't even know these were the same style building. You know, this is all in the same building. It's nice and green, very funky, loves it. Got my one melon. See, that was the only one I could fit on there, but I just wanted a big melon there. And then we go upstairs. And it's so cool, and I love it. And then add in the disco balls as well. It just looks absolutely grand. Right, so I hope you liked, I said I'm going to do, I hope this gives you some ideas. Oh, he is. Hey, kitty. Yay. You're hanging around. Great. Fantastic. I'm going to have cats and ghouls everywhere. So, yeah, now, let's just show you the outside again. Got chems, food, booze. That is it. Love it. I've got my water pump on the side as well. So yeah, we're now going to go to Starlight, because obviously you want to see a little bit of how the arena fighting works. This is going to be a really basic arena. It's just something I whipped up very quickly. It doesn't even look particularly very good. It's not creative. I just wanted to show you how a fight worked, alright? So let's hop over to Starlight, and I'll talk to you guys soon. I wanted to quickly show you something, because Strong is having a little bit of a fight over there. I've got a Deathclaw caged up, which is what's happened here. Kind of wish I hadn't turned off my HUD, but there we go. So basically, that means I can't even see the health. That's alright. I can see their heads explode. So basically, is that everyone? Yeah, we're good. Oh yeah, ignore the beds, by the way. This is literally where I'm trying to get ghouls in my settlements, so I'm sending all of the settlers I don't want to here and dealing with them. Hence why the beds. While I'm waiting for the jet to wear off. Starlight Driving will be a let's build, or rebuild video, whatever, soon. And this is going to be my giant arena. This is going to be basically my entire arena area. So, yeah, I hope you guys like that when it comes. This is the really straightforward, basic, kind of like little arena I made just to show you. It's actually really good, those Deathclaws attack, which is why I quickly hit record, because I want to demonstrate that basically whatever you have caged, its family will come and try and rescue it. So bear that in mind. That's why I kind of got rid of the Deathclaw in Sanctuary, because I've got a lot of characters that I don't want to die, like the Vault-Tec guy, and I kind of don't want Sanctuary, because it's such a hard place to defend, because it's so big. So I'm not going to have a Deathclaw in Sanctuary, just ghouls, because they're easy to mow down. So before I just show you this, like, you can use the windows. It's really good for viewing platforms. I've got a gunner and a raider captured in there, and a Deathclaw in there. And this is the powered door, so I can flip a switch. It's so cool, right? It was just such a nightmare to snap for something. This one, it snapped fine, but for whatever reason, I couldn't snap it properly on the other house. So they might have patched it soon. I hope they do, because this is a crafting DLC. There are going to be a lot of little bugs.
Hey, wait there.
Stay there. Okay. So, oh, and also these pillars as well for supports are fantastic, because they didn't snap to that, because obviously it wasn't snapping to wall, but I just could lower it into the ground, so that's something we've been wanting for ages. If we had a wooden version, that would be quite nice. Right, anyway. You want to see blood, don't you? So, just a note before I open these gates, the Gunners, Raiders, and the Super Mutants can't be calmed down with a beta wave emitter. So they will be aggressive the second you open that door. Also, they have guns. So just be warned. This is why I'm going to let this big fellow out first. Oh, I got a glowing one. I love the way they exit. Jesus, he's a scary motherfucker. Right. Die well! Don't shoot me. Oh, there we go. Yeah, if you hadn't shot me, maybe you wouldn't have fucking lost your forehead. Probably should have picked something that may have lasted. Last time I tested this, I actually got Corporal. That guy was a tough bastard. So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that and my little bloodlust at the end. You died well for your king, gentlemen. Incidentally, I don't know if we can get them back in the cage. So that's a thing. Like, I don't know if if I turn that on. Want to get back in there, boy? Nah, it's all good. All right, I'll just leave him there, I guess. He's hanging out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I will have, well, lots of videos relating to the DLC and how to build Funky Stit and all that jazz coming up soon. As always, if you have any queries, questions, anything I've missed, though please don't pick obvious things. For the love of God, don't pick obvious things. But anything I've missed, let me know. Especially if you've managed to have certain types of creatures in your settlements. Let us know which ones are aggressive to each other. Because I'd like us to get a little, just kind of collective knowledge on exactly what creatures we can have in our settlements that won't rip each other to pieces. Deathclaws are a pretty much murder anything kind of creature. And obviously, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and you can follow me on Twitter at norespawns. Anywho, I'm gonna try and get this asshole back in his cage, so I'll talk to you people soon. Take care.